Hey folks, Quill18 here, and welcome to the City Skyline Friday live stream. Let's get everything going. Just a bit of a technical glitch there. We had to restart a couple of things, hence the 20-second late start. Just bringing everything up now. Well, subscribers, a little playing message on the side, editing the scene, and bring it down to like that. All right, so right away, oh, this is supposed to start paused. Right away, why is there actually a water shortage? I want to talk about what happened yesterday. Let me realize or fix up whatever water shortage is happening here. I might have something disconnected. No, I think maybe it's still just kicking in. Yeah, there we go. See that? I didn't even do anything. Just the water was coming back online. The sewage will kick in a second here. I think it's just after the reload took a second to process anything. So, yesterday, we had a bit of a zombie apocalypse. And the root cause of it was entirely based on two things. One, this incinerator here was positioned right around here, I think. And you see how they've got, like, a radius of pollution? Well, I think our closest water intake was sort of like right here in the area you can't really see, and it turns out there's still a pollution effect there. And we had a water tower. Oh, I can't even remember where it was now. A water tower, something like right here, and between the two of them, I didn't realize there was an average drinking water pollution meter here. Between the two of them, we hit 13% drinking water pollution. Now, whoa, something is different. This is a different build. Okay. See, there's a number here with the tweets. Something has changed. This is a different build. I wonder, like, what's broken, if anything. Okay. And then the bird would tell us, the chirper would tell us that, you know, some people were experiencing some polluted drinking water. The problem was the chirper generates a lot of noise, so it's hard to parse out. Like, at this point, I don't even see the chirper anymore. I just ignore it completely. So you don't notice that kind of stuff, which is kind of a shame. Worf 3200. Lieutenant Commander, thank you very much for subscribing over here. So, what I did last night is I moved that incinerator, and I deleted that water tower, and there was one of our zones, which one is it? Right over here, did not have a hospital. So what I did is I went and, oh, I haven't plopped one in there yet. Well, this is funny. Look at that. I still haven't put down a hospital there, because what I did is I moved the water, and I let it run for an hour. This is after running for an hour. Apparently, even without a hospital over here, we still have an apocalypse. You can see I have $3.3 million. When we left things off before the save exploded, we had 2.8. And I think the save was about 123,000. It's dipped a little here because it always fluctuates, but it's currently on its way up. So I want to give a shout out to Muleburger. Thank you very much for subscribing. I'm going to drop a hospital over here. Now, if I let it play, those sewage problems, those warnings are going away. They just took a second to kick in. I think I might have dropped down a couple more crematoriums just to be sure. But you can see here, like, there's 600 dead, 300 ill. Someone posted a screenshot to Reddit yesterday saying, oh, the problem was his hospital didn't have enough hospital. It was like 9,000 sick for 5,000 health capacity. But that was after the zombie apocalypse started. Now, we can see here on in this map here, there is actually a couple of spots where we still have some poor health. Right over here, we have poor health. Let's take a look at those maps. And so what we're going to do is we're going to keep an eye on it. Oh, yeah, that's right, because there was an incinerator here, and I have moved it. I think I moved it over there. So this health situation will resolve itself. But maybe to speed things along, we'll drop a little park down there. Space already occupied. Oh, I already put a park over there. I think when I moved it, I put a park down. So I was trying to identify some places with a little bit of poor health and dealing with it. But overall, all of our roads are basically green. They have health coverage, which is fine. Oh, some people were also mistakenly concerned when we go into the death care mode that the cemetery usage is 100%. But that's just because I only have like 4 cemeteries? No, 5 cemeteries. But they've been full forever. I don't use the cemeteries as a death care treatment. Everyone goes into crematoriums now. Hello, Shutursa. So that it's not the cemetery problem. Oh, so traffic is generally okay. When the poop zombie apocalypse started, we did get some traffic jams by the hospitals, sort of a hotel. But right now, oops, that's the wrong screen. Right now, we shouldn't really run into that too much, just because as long as things aren't allowed to explode, there's not really going to be that kind of traffic jam. So it's something we can revisit a little bit more later on, but for now we're okay. Roundabouts also won't change things, just because right now the problem with the city is not one that gets improved by the roundabouts, simply because the small roundabouts I don't think are any different from these small intersections. They effectively do the same kind of thing, because they have no real stop signs. Like, the speed through them is pretty good. And any slowdown that happens here can also happen, you see right there, a bit of a slowdown as people do the mergers, just because they don't use the inside lane. So it's just as susceptible to various things. So these roundabouts don't help. There may still be a way to construct a good roundabout with maybe like the 6-lane one-ways. There might be some advantage we have there. But again, they're not going to use all the lanes. So I'm not convinced that they're a win. I'm also not convinced... Hello, Will Coombe 123. Thanks for the subscription. I'm also not convinced that the 4-lane roads are a win, but I actually think that the 6-lane roads, the 6-lane two-ways, if I can find the area where I've done some of these 4-lane stuff before. I can't even remember where that was. I think the 6-lane variants actually will work better. Yeah. Now, right now, it's not too bad. Here, bulldoze that abandoned house just because we're here. But I think the 6-lane one may actually behave better because it opens up a couple extra possibilities for U-turns. Also, it does a really good job with the 3-way branching for dividing up the work. Because here, theoretically, people will use both lanes. Although, you can see here, they're still piling up mostly in one. And the fact that there's a stoplight there slowed down the traffic more than it would have if we were just using a simple 2-lane road. Okay, right in here, all this traffic's not really flowing at the rate that we might expect. It is helpful anytime you have issues with people stopping on the side of the road. Now, let's talk about noise pollution. Certainly, we had noise pollution going on, and we still do. That has not changed. I actually haven't done the thing where I said, well, reload. People are like, oh, reload, put up your hospital budget to the max, and make sure to tree up all the roads. While the noise pollution does seem to put up a little, making people sick. Oh, we actually have a garbage problem in a couple of these places. Why is that? Do we not have an incinerator nearby? Maybe some of the incinerator movements reset some things. Where's the closest incinerator here? Over there. And here, but that's not connected. Well, I think what I'm going to want to do is grab a 2-lane road. Oh, it goes over there. And connect it up. There's already statues sort of in the way over there, so let me go. Actually, we'll have to come this way. Can I get it to come maybe a little bit more straightish? Something like that. There we go. So maybe help the garbage trucks get over here. It may actually need another incinerator. What's our capacity right now? Incinerator status is green. It could probably afford to be greener. Alright, let's go ahead. I don't want to end up with disease caused by excess garbage. So, let's pull a road out. Oh, I don't know why it stopped being legal for a second there. Just over here. Just trying to get it out of the way. We're going to tuck it in underneath the highway by the railroad tracks. We're going to drop another incinerator in there just to make sure that there's not too many problems. Like so. It gets its own power. Oh, and it actually connects up over here, so we're fine. Overall, water capacity is actually falling a little short. We're going to want to do something about that. Oh, so I wanted to say, the good news is the poop lake has no impact on water quality at all. These water treatment plants indeed do not bring water into the system. They're simply an outflow. And the poop in the lake does not flood back in the city. So we get to have fun with our poop lake some more. The Black Sea. I'm going to drop down 2 over here, and I'm going to drop down 2 water sources in our clean water area up over here. 1 and 2. Like so. Alright, Still have lots of water. How's the power situation? Power's getting a little bit low as we continue to grow. It might be a bit of a thing. So let's go ahead and drop down a road as well. So I want to double check that I don't have anything running in the background. My computer's feeling maybe a little sluggish. I might be imagining things. Like so. Alright. Poop Lake is best lake. That's right. Bede Gaming. Old Shutterland. I live near the Black Sea. This is the really Black Sea. More kind of a brownish sea. The stinky sea. Get rid of that road. Save an extra buck on maintenance. It's not much, but it's there. People keep moving to the city. We're making 40 grand per week right now. That's even though we've added some extra services, a couple extra crematoriums, just built that other hospital. Making some serious money right now. So my goal for today, again, oh, if you didn't see the YouTube announcement, this will be a little bit of a shorter stream, just because I absolutely have to stop around, really no later than 2:30 Eastern time. The reason for that is I have another recording that I have to do with some peoples. So, it's going to be a little shorter, but what I want to do is, instead of expanding more city blocks, because partially I'm basing some of the idea behind this design on the way that sort of Toronto is, where, now this is a bit of an excess of highways, but there's a lot of this sort of like, you're getting on and off on highways because you want to go from, I don't know, North York to Vaughan, or, I'm not an expert in Toronto, I don't actually live in Toronto, it's just the only big city I really have any real experience with. And so this is like the Don Valley Parkway over here. You know, lots of green space around, lots of different like ons and offs, lots of crisscrossings from local roads, but also rail. That's the DVP in Toronto is basically like that. And the thing with the DVP and also the 400 and 401 interchange, you can be there at like 3 o'clock in the morning, and there's always going to be traffic. It's super annoying. Actually, maybe this is a little more DVP-ish. I don't know. The DVP is not raised. I don't think. Maybe there's a couple of places where it is. So that's it. But what I want to do is I want to fill in a few more of these gaps and offer some more interconnections that go underneath the highway. The whole reason for these raised highways, we can make cool roads that go underneath it and do that. We have to do it carefully because I don't want to generate too much traffic between the areas. But a little bit we can handle, and also a little bit can keep the traffic off the interchanges. And I posted this picture to Twitter yesterday. I legitimately think this area here is beautiful. I really love the curbs on this interchange. They're also, like, they're super functional. They work extraordinarily well, and I think they look great. And this area here, this loop here, drives me a bit crazy, to the point where I'm considering just, like, remaking it. Maybe we should remake it right now. It'll save a little bit of space. I'm hoping for symmetry. The problem is, the reason symmetry is hard in this game is because you can't draw things the same way. Because of the one-ways, you can't invert them or anything like that. So on this highway, I had to draw this way. And on here, I actually had to start here and then loop around and try to make it work. And didn't do a very good job about it. Let's try. What kind of damage could we possibly do to our city? Let's find out. Oh, that was the other thing, is by starting it over here, I was spacing out the in and the out a little bit more. We could just trumpet from over here. That's the other thing. Now, it's a little closer to this, but that's not necessarily the end of the world. Curvy tool. Do I have the extra elevation kicked in now? I think I do. Oh, wrong buttons. Here we go. I'm like, why isn't the elevation changing? So now we're level, and then we'll go up one more. There's no reason for me to do this, except that it might look nicer. That's not the way it's supposed to connect. It's supposed to connect in the other direction to stop a short corner. And then, yeah, it'll be too close. I don't want that. No good. It'll be a little close to here. The way we have it previously was almost certainly more efficient. Yeah, see, again, I'm doing it. I'm going to provide all this extra space because I'm trying to come up with a nice departure from here. It's a little more symmetrical. I actually think this is going to be worse for traffic. But it's slightly more symmetrical, and therefore that makes me a little happier. Flying cars! So I'm hoping that this doesn't cause too much extra pressure here. I don't think it does, because I think that no matter how near or far this intersection is, I think cars are trying to get to the other lane as quickly as possible. We'll see. Maybe I should have left it. But slightly more symmetrical. And yeah, I don't know, I like this bit. Alright, so, population, still stable. We're taking a look around. Again, I basically made no changes other than making sure there was no polluted water, and I let it run for like an hour just to settle itself out. There's one other thing that I have noticed from time to time. Because we have built big areas in huge, vast swaths, it's possible that a bunch of our population is aging at the same time, and so that might have also led to a little bit of extra pressure. Every now and again, even though the health is really good, we will get a clump of people that sort of die off in the same area, putting extra pressure on the hearses. So we're going to keep watching this. 400 sick people, 400 dead. That is nothing. We easily keep up with that rate. It's absolutely not a problem whatsoever. So yeah, so like stuff like this, right? Even though technically building things on here might slow down some of these little crossings, it might be good. I wonder if we want to drop one over here. It's close enough. It's going to destroy 3 buildings. But let's do it. Might help our ambulances get places faster. As long as it doesn't create a bottleneck there, as people start to prefer those things than like the high capacity highways, we're going to be okay. Demand right now, fairly officey. Oh, that's the other thing. I will, even though noise pollution doesn't seem to be the cause of our epidemic, certainly noise pollution, I've got to give it a lot more credit than I have been doing. So as I build new zones, what we're going to do is, make sure to provide a buffer between commercial zones and residences. So what we'll probably do when we build a new block is go something like commercial, office, residential, office, commercial. Something like that, just so that we avoid any chance. Ooh, a garbage pile up. I'm going to get rid of that now, just before it causes any potential problems. Just to avoid or minimize any kind of noise pollution that's hitting the houses, because we want to minimize how much stress they're under, both for sort of land value, and also we don't want anything else that contributes to sickness. The fewer ambulances we have on the road, the better it is for traffic. And speaking of traffic, we do have some public transit going on. This area here is not covered by subway yet. Most of our city is. I guess here and here is not yet. We've got some... Oh, this is bus coverage. Oh. Okay. No, it's both kinds of lanes. Can't really tell the bus compared to the metro. The metro is easy to see because you can just see the lines. Yeah, see, this is a bus line over here. Even though I'm on the metro tab. It'd be nice if it were filter. I mean... I kind of want to be able to see both, like, sometimes, and then just one sometimes. This doesn't matter as long as you've got some amount of transport coverage. So yeah, we'll probably do that. Ooh, rather than adding short roads, what about public paths? Yeah, encourage pedestrians. It's not a bad idea. I just missed who it was. Torozo. It's a good idea. So, but the thing with the public transit is most of the traffic we have in places where we have traffic jams is the heavy traffic. Now, this, on the other hand, right here, is fairly residential. The donut truck is not. They can't take the subway. But that's quite a few sort of vans and things like that. See, this truck here also can't. But there's clearly... So you go... Where do you live? You live Galore, and your worker down here. So, great opportunity to put down some public transit. So we're going to go ahead and get a metro that services... We're gonna service the 2 new areas. The 2 areas that aren't covered yet. Because I do want, you know, mostly full metro coverage. Let's try to get this one in the corner here. And another one there. But yeah, other than that, we're going to start gluing these districts together. Something like that. Still don't really know what the metro coverage, like, radius is. It does generate a bit of sound. The best I can do is go based on... that's completely full. Is go based on how many happiness bubbles we get when we actually connect a route. We'll go one more over here. Okay. You'll see what I'm... well, first we've got to get the tunnels together. And the tunnel paths don't seem to be terribly important. Because I don't know... Like, they don't have to contend with traffic. And subways can apparently loop. Or 360. Not, well, they can probably 360, but I mean 180. Like so. Alright, so as I create these routes, watch the happy faces. Bam. So, based on that, and then here... They're basically touching here. Oh, both zones get the happiness. And it shows you, to me, I'm assuming that the happy faces basically represent the area where people are willing to walk to these subway stations. So we've got a complete line here. And then what we'll do is make a new line that just connects up, say, these two regions like that. So people that might have to hop on more than one subway, I'm assuming that's okay. Space already occupied. But for why? I want to put down another one over here. And then down here. And there. And there. And there. We occasionally have to be replacing some buildings here, so there might be a couple of population drops here and there. Unhappiness. Oh, because I probably bulldozed the house. That, and then we'll cut in from here down to there. Make another little bit of a loop. So I'm really looking forward to the game's release when a lot of the behavior of these sorts of things will both be A, clarified, and B, figured out by other players. Because I'm sure people will figure out the absolute optimal way to put down these routes. And right now, I'm just guessing. It's the best I can do. So let's see, we'll force the subway to make a U-turn there, which apparently it can do. There's one. We'll get a bit of just a short little run that does that. And then we'll go 1, 2, 3, and close the line that way. Okay. We might want to provide some shortcuts across this way. I mean, I'm not sure how many people are using that, but some people might want to travel from one side to the other. So what the hell? Junu! 99. Thanks for the subscription. There we are. And maybe one over here. Again, I don't know how many people will use it. And technically there's a bit of maintenance. Actually, the subways are very expensive. And see, our income has dropped considerably. Our highway, our subway expenses. This is all transportation. There we go. We're spending $15,000 a week, almost $16,000 a week on our subway service alone. Which is pretty lots. Especially, again, since I say most of the traffic is caused by commercial vehicles, but some is sort of residential traffic. Tickwick, hey, thanks for subscribing. I think the camera needs to be a little higher. I mean, I don't want to go too high, because then it'll click my green screen, but I didn't realize it was quite that low. There we are. You didn't do anything with that small 3-section metro district. You didn't actually make any routes. Let's take a look. Alright, here we got green lines. Green lines. Aha! Building's on fire. Go away. Oh, I can actually see a metro go here, though. Wait, what? That didn't work. Cancel. Okay, from here to here to here to here. What metro is that, though? If we have no line here, what the hell is going around here? I don't think I'd ever... Oh, you know what? I was going to say, I don't think I've ever seen a metro before. Could it be just been another train? No. No, there. Here's a metro. What? Well, whatever. Connect up this area over here. Alright, connections. We've got this connection, but it's not actually doing anything. Ta-da! We got lines running everything there. Lines running here, lines running here. Everything here's got lines. and there as well. Now, what I could do is also throw in like some sort of crazy metro connection that just connects a bunch of areas through the city. Check, check, check. Looks like we're fine. Interesting. Okay, we're gonna go subscribers mode if people can't behave in the chat there, but we seem to be back. I had noticed that the connection to Twitch has been kind of twitchy since the start, so hopefully that will resolve itself. Oh, that's funny. Just got a message from Essential letting me know about the camera. I actually fixed that one on my own. I didn't even notice anyone bringing anything up. All right, we'll turn the subscribers off again. Okay. Just while the picnicking is over. Should be okay. Not dropping any packets. There was just temporarily things fell over. Oh! Also, I'm apparently encoding video in the background. Now that's not going to affect the internet connection, but that sure as hell isn't going to make the game run any faster. The problem is all of like the videos from 2 days ago still haven't finished being encoded and everything because I've just been screaming non-stop. So I think I can officially get rid of the region called "This is gonna be bad" because it's obviously not gonna be bad. It's gonna be fine. It was bad for a bit, and we made some adjustments, and now we're okay. Alright, population is continuing to grow, and I guess that's it. We'll mostly just let things keep running at this rate because it's still growing. It's upgrading cities. There's not much of a demand. If I put down a new city block, it actually wouldn't really fill up. Like, we saw this here where we put a big city block here, and it didn't really do anything for the longest time. Now, if we check the noise map... Hello, M. Grayan. Thanks for the sub. If we check the noise map, there is a lot of it. Now, these are already all tree lines, so there's not really much we can do. Laklika, thanks for the sub as well. So, I mean, other than isolating the commercial areas, you know, that might go a bit of a ways. Now, over here, is there any residential here? There is, so I think that would be an excellent candidate. It doesn't, this is not a cure-all. This slightly dampens sound, but it's better than nothing. Ideally, it's, I think, mostly a job of making sure to isolate the commercial areas from the residential areas. I think that's probably the most important for keeping down the noise pollution. But a few tree-lined streets might help. Again, I'm just waiting for the population to sort of grow to its current limit. We're 130,000. I don't want to rush it. Part of the issue that happened yesterday was a fair deal of rushing. Because I was really trying to hit that 200,000 before the end of the day. But also, just not knowing about that water pollution screen. Now that we know about that water pollution screen, oh boy. Also, I think I missed a donation earlier. Thanks, Emery. Starting to get a feel for the highways, honestly. There's a lot going on, but they resemble like real-world spaghetti junctions, which is not necessarily a good thing. But there's at least a basis for what I'm doing. Some streets in the real world also suck just as much. I suppose our goal is to try to do better. Shouldn't be much noise pollution on these streets at all. Just surrounding residential blocks. I'm sort of surrounding both residential blocks and commercial blocks with the better streets here. Office blocks are nice because they don't generate any noise. They also don't generate much in the way of commercial vehicles, so they're like the awesome thing. There's part of me that kind of wants to just eliminate all my industry and replace it entirely with just offices. Now, that does mean that all commerce would have to import things from outside of town, which might lead to slightly greater traffic. And I think it leads to lower tax money. How are we doing health-wise? Just keep monitoring it because I keep being paranoid. 500 sick. So the sick count went up slightly, but the dead count is even lower. We started at 400, 400. Oh. What's with the health here? Oh, we got pollution seeping over. All right, let's build some. Let's build a giant park over here. If we can get it to fit, no, we can't. Smaller parks. Now, if need be, I'm actually going to get rid of those houses completely. I actually don't know. Like, the idea is parks and trees are supposed to reduce pollution, and especially noise pollution, or additionally noise pollution. But I actually don't know exactly how powerful the effect is. We're getting upgrades just from the fact that they have parks nearby. Actually, the health here has already resolved itself. Potentially because they got serviced by an ambulance, but also maybe the pollution is being pushed back. I mean, it's still currently seeping over. Now, it's actually not coming from the industrial area as much as it is the incinerator. So I think what I'll do is move the incinerator back. That's going to have a much bigger impact than anything else. Apparently. It's still going to take a little while for the pollution to go away. And it maybe these parks and stuff would have been enough, but, you know, let's make sure. And let me go and continue to plant rows of trees all along here. I don't want to build in this area anyway, so I may as well plop down some trees. I'm really hoping that one of the first patches after release will add in some ability to just click and drag and put down these trees, or the brush from the editor. Like, they have the technology already. It's just a question of, you know, incorporating the UI into the game. Just because we want to be able to spam lots of trees. The ability to place individual trees is important. We want to be able to do that. You know, get some pixel perfect placement. But we also want to be able to just, like, fill this area with trees. Dullison, have you tried exits on both sides of the highway instead of just right side? We have tried that, and we weren't really happy with the performance. Because of the fact that the AI, for maybe good or bad, I don't know, treats the rightmost lane, well, that's a bad example, and this is also a bad example, but even when there's a simple off-ramp, it actually treats this lane as basically a right exit only. Although I say that, you just saw a car go by. Oh! That's 2. We spent most of the day... 3. You know how I said there's, I think, a new build? I might be wrong. Maybe there wasn't a new build. Maybe it's always been working like that. But I swear to God, we spent like an extended amount of time watching this stuff, and we rarely saw any cars drive directly through. And I was going to say, because of that, even though the sign was like this... fuck, there's another one! I don't know, like, I don't know, maybe I'm dreaming. It's entirely possible that I'm dreaming. I actually have no idea if there was a change pushed through or not. Because it's pre-release, there's not an update log. I didn't notice if something was downloaded. But I hadn't noticed the little, counter on the chirpy before, and he does seem to be behaving differently. I feel like I'm going crazy. And see, that guy dodged it, but it's not necessarily too bad. Or it could be, some people have said they might only avoid that lane, or they might not avoid if they're looking to turn out over here, and that might be it. So everything that goes straight through are people who are actually looking to turn off over there, in which case that would be fine behavior. But anyway, all that to say, if you're peeling off the left lane, it tends to force a lot of people down the middle, and then you end up with a bit of a backup over there. It didn't work out very well for us. Clark Away, thank you very much for subscribing. I'm sure we could make it work, but in the experiments so far, it didn't. We're going to have to revisit that. And it probably has a lot to do with the greater highway structure. Also, at the time, we were having a lot of traffic in general. And now, the traffic density overall is pretty low. I think we tried some of that over in this interchange. And really what was happening is this interchange was just massively overworked. When we were also allowing people to get on from these highways onto here, which we don't right now. When we were allowing that to happen, there was too much traffic. Like, there's a lot of traffic now. And it's all just people that are trying to get from one town to another. So that's quite telling. So it could work. Population continues to go up. I'm not doing anything. I'm not zoning anything new. I'm not building anything. We've got a big demand for offices, which is good. So the residential areas are filling up, is what's going on here. The residential areas are starting to fill up. And now they're looking for more and more jobs. So what I'm curious about is there some nice commercial areas we can put some offices next to? Like, what about in here? What if we fill this block here all with offices? I like that. Make an ore and oil industry. We had those both, I think, in the last city. I'm not sure I'm gonna rush it. So I'm trying to decide what kind of street structure I want if I want to extend my offices over here. And I think what we're gonna do is throw in a block like that. We can technically have enough room for maybe one more grid over here. But then I'll end up with a bit of a curvy one here, just along the highway. Oh yeah, it's going to try to clip on the end, of course. Actually, I don't need to connect. I could just do something like that. And we'll try to, we'll try to avoid building buildings right along the highway. Here we technically could. I know the highways generate a lot of noise pollution. I don't know if this, oh yeah, that is important. So I'm going to pause while I do this, because I'm going to have to reconnect that. Line up vaguely like that. Okay, good. And then the power line. From here, we're going to cross and connect it up over there. Okay. We'll get some water coverage in this area. So yeah, we're just going to try to fill in a few more of these gaps. Space elevator, you can afford it. You know what? We really can. Space elevator was something like 15 grand to maintain. And at the time that we unlocked it, that was way too much. But now, we can do this. So these should zone up right away, as people are looking for this kind of work. So yeah, I'm going to try to avoid building right on the outside of the highway. If we can fit some small parks there, but no, it's not gonna like that. I'm gonna put one in this corner, just to say, because it'll look nice. And could fit another one in maybe. So I'll go right here, just to get coverage. 7 Weiss. I can't think of another way to parse that. Thank you for subscribing! Like a challenge every time. So the space elevator. Right over here. Huge influx of tourists. Now, we have our sort of touristy area here. Well, oh, we have garbage problems there. Really? Also, that's not connected, so we're not technically in, we don't need it there. Fine. Do we not have any incinerator service in this end of town? We've got one. What is this? That is an incinerator, but it's not connected. Let's get it connected to the network. I think the reason I didn't do it before is because I was a little concerned that there might be too much traffic over here, but I don't think there will be. Oh, wow, we had one of our electrical plants burned down as well. It's burned down. Of course I want to get rid of it. How's the fire coverage over here? Well, there's a fire station there. Actually, there's a bit of a gap in our fire coverage overall. Now, this might allow people to get... Oh, and lots of fire risk over here. Let's get a big-ass fire station. Over here. And then maybe a small-ass one. Oh! Oh! Well, that would explain it. This road's not connected. So this incinerator wasn't able to do anything. No one could actually reach the solar plant. Alright. Can I? What we're gonna have to do is, we're on pause mode. Yeah. Do this, and then come down there. Hey! That's probably a good idea. Why don't we do some of that? Right away a garbage truck leaves. We'll hopefully go and scooch this up. And say garbage is the one thing that works really easily, because the garbage trucks just pick it up as they go by. Luckily, this building can't be abandoned, which is good. Although it might spread a little bit of disease until it gets serviced. So, anyway, all that to say, we have a passenger harbor here, we have an airport over here. So if tourists are going to go anywhere, it might be in this area. Also, I'm sure the noise pollution on this fucker is through the roof. Actually, it's a pretty small radius, which is kind of surprising. We could potentially even put it in town. We could put it over here. Just far enough that we don't get any noise pollution. We could do all kinds of things. Even here. Which might not be too bad. How easy to get to from the highway? Well, from here, we can go there pretty easily, and there. As long as it has bus and metro service for the tourists. I have never been to Helsinki via the dog. I would like to go. Alright, let's build this thing. Costs 1.5 million. So if we get another disaster, it'll be harder to recover from it. What could possibly go wrong? It'll also cost us $16,000 a week in maintenance. But we got an achievement for it. Okay, let's make sure that it is properly serviced by buses. So we're going to have a bus route that starts here, goes to the harbor, goes to the airport, and then comes back over here. This is probably like suicidal. We're also going to make sure there's a metro station right outside. We took it in there. We can. That is nice. Do that. We're going to connect you up to the network here and here. Apparently we need water, so we're going to make sure to add that in soon enough. I'm going to connect again to our touristy stuff. Here, here, and finally here. And then we're going to create a new line that connects to our main sort of city network as a big loop. There, and then back over there. So there's a few different ways to get there. This thing is going to bankrupt us. But it'll be awesome! Alright. Passengers service last week. Passengers? Got lots of tourists at the space elevator. Wait. Is this not... People near and far travel to the city to see the space elevator. This means a huge influx of tourists who will like to spend their money while visiting. But the way it says passenger service last week, isn't that exactly what the airport says? And the harbor? This isn't a tourist attraction. People are coming in from space. Let's move the incinerator plant. Just anywhere else. Huzzah! 290, thanks for the subscription. So, we're going to take this. I'm going to move it here, which is basically going to be safe. Try to get that pollution out of there. And we're going to go ahead and zone in some commercial right here, because presumably people want to do some shopping near here. A bit of a polluted area for now, but hopefully it'll be okay. We'll do that. I'm just going to stop short of the home buildings over here. We still have a little bit of demand for offices, so let's go ahead and tuck some offices in there. I'm using the wrong button. I've been right-clicking this whole time. Awesome. Also, I might have disconnected some power accidentally. Well, power got disconnected. I'm not sure that it's needed anymore. Let's just make sure. It looks cool. I don't know what it does. Get lots of tourists with the space elevator. I think people are showing up here. I think people are leaving and coming to the town via the space elevator. And then they're going to the metro over here. Yeah, they're going... Oh, 700 tourists. Very nice. And one person I clicked on... you're going to a place. You're going to a place. You're going a home as well. Did you just dropped off in a bus? Maybe that's what happened. Because one person was going to see the Sea and Sky Tower. Game patch to 1.03. See options MISC. Ho-ho! There definitely was a patch. Hello, Atakushi. Because this auto-open chirper messages was not an option before. They had promised to add it in. Oh, and a tutorial message toggle. I really like that, because I actually didn't mind the chirper. Mostly I ignored it. It was fine. The thing that drove me crazy were the pop-ups down here. So I might turn that off. I'll leave it on for now, just on the basis that maybe, you know, some of the behaviors got adjusted. And actually, I really like the tilt shift. I'm mostly leaving it off just because it'll help stream clarity. since the stream, you know, degrades over the internet anyway. But in my actual play, I like the tilt shift. Some people hate it, but I quite like it. I don't like it, you know, sort of with the level it is when you get it. If you don't know what it does, it just makes the top and bottom of the screen a little bit fuzzy. Let's put it like to the max, and you'll see exactly. Oh yeah, it's not so much when you zoom out. It's when you zoom in, it'll sort of give you a blur in the distance. You got a in focus part here, and then everything sort of at the bottom and the top gets a bit out of focus. And I think it's a neat effect, but I think for the streams, it's better having it off.